or welcome back to At Home with Cici. I am Cici, mama to three amazing humans and, among other things, a homeschooling parent. This video is going to be a look at curriculum in the pipeline, things that we are looking forward to doing from after Easter, I think, and onwards. Things that we haven't yet done, and things that we've dabbled in a little bit, but not fully pledged ourselves to. So I'm going to take you through some of the curriculum I've chosen for our homeschool year from spring onwards. If you've seen any other videos of mine, you would have seen what I do for maths with my little one and for language arts, reading and writing. So these subjects, these curriculum subjects, are not maths or language arts. It's other interests and other topics that I'd like us to learn. So the first one is something I found online called the Rhyme and Reason Academy. It's another Christian mum, but we're not doing obviously any of the Christian stuff that they offer. We're just going to look at the Montessori first grade lesson, which is passages of time. It is sort of natural history / science / history of the world. So I just have this really basic folder from the pound shop because the curriculum is really based in conversation and doing, so there's not much to do on paper. This is really just for me. So it gives you all the things you'll need, and then the 5 different lessons. And I also got along with it this notebook, timeline notebook, so it's from 14 billion years ago to today, and it's this thin. So it is really just a notebook timeline. But when we learn something about a certain period in time, Maya can draw, stick, eventually write it in on the timeline. So here it says 700 million years ago, MYA. And then we come all the way to the end, where the last page is 2070 CE, which means, let me just remind myself, the notebook itself doesn't work in BC and AD like the Christian time record. It is before Common Era and then Common Era, which is equivalent to AD. So I thought this would be really lovely, things to help her with her history as she grows, history knowledge, but also a fun thing to add to about things she learns randomly in different places that we can apply to this, but also things in her life that she can add. So that is some natural history first grade Montessori lesson, or the Montessori first grade lesson, and a bit of natural history and science. So that's the first bit done. So let's segue nicely on to actual science. And I have the first 2 books already, just because delivery charge wise it made sense to get both, but there are 3 books in the whole series. So this one is the elementary and this one is the building foundation. So this one will come a bit later. So this apparently is a fantastic book by Dr. Bernard J. Nebel. And it is Building Foundations of Scientific Understanding, a science curriculum for kindergarten to 8 and older. Beginning science learners, grades kindergarten to 2. So I guess this is the kindergarten to grade 2 American. So in England, I think kindergarten is like year 1. So I'm just going to say something now. People may think that what I provide for my little one is too old for them, but we're just trying it. We're not trying to live up to anyone's standards or to exceed anyone's expectations or anything like that. anyone's as in, you know, government or school or anything like that. We're just doing what makes sense to us now and what feels good, what is accessible, and what Maya is capable of. So I'm not over challenging, but I'm not making things too easy for her. Also, because we're homeschooling, we do things our own way. So there's a whole set curriculum or guide in all of the things we do, unless it's coming straight from me, but there's a whole curriculum guide, but we don't have to follow it word for word. We don't have to do anything that's too much. We're just using it to help us and to help myself plan and to remember what there is to learn out there. So let's have a look inside. So there's a table of contents, of course, giving you all the lessons and overviews of what the learner will be learning. It gives you an orientation for the use of the book. Then it gives you a flowchart of the learning progression, so the way in which you can teach what's in this book. You can choose your own path, basically, whichever way works for you, and they give you a guide on that. And then the learning progression A, B, C, and D. So A is the nature of matter, like categorizing things, solids, liquid gases, rocks, minerals, all those good things. B is life science, so living or biological things, natural earth and human-made things, species, adaptations and survival, plant, soil, water, things like that. C is physical science, engineering and technology, which is sounds and vibrations, energies, force, frictions. And then D is earth and space science, gravity, landforms, north, south, east, west, rocks and fossils. I'm reading them all out of order as well. So we've got essentially nature of matter, life science, physical science, engineering and technology, and earth and space science, which is all stuff that I would want to teach my child, but I would forget things or I would miss out steps. So this is going to be a really great guide for us to do some fun science learning. The lessons are more of a lesson for the parent or the guide rather than the learner or child. So it's the book tells you what you need to be doing and the questions you can be asking your child and what you can prepare for them to support their learning in building the foundations for science. So that's why I really liked this one, because it makes it a little bit more free and expressive in a way. We can do it how we want to do it with the guide. And then also, like I said, this is like above her age, so we can do the whole thing and then come back to it with a more complex working. So we could do it like super easy, super fun, super basic, and then next year we can go over it again. We don't have to go straight into the next one. We can revisit this and go over it again with different experiments and different recording activities and so on. So this was a great investment and I'm very excited to use it with Maya. We haven't done much science like activities and experiments outside of investigation and observation. So yeah, looking forward to some science with my baby. I think next we'll go on to something a little calming. So we have a book. Before I say what I wanted to say, I just wanted to show you, because we have a pile of books at the end of the bed. We have a bedtime book basket next to the bed, which are the things that she likes to read at night time. And then on the bed we have the ones that we always do. No matter what story we read, we'll always do these books. So this is Bedtime Maths. It's obviously American. Bedtime Maths, and each page is a different blurb of some interesting facts. I'm not keen on the way it's written. It's written really like TV kid language. I'm not a fan, so I edit as I read. But yes, we read information about how high a kangaroo can jump, and then there are 3 different questions for some mental maths, and there are 3 different levels of understanding. So there's wee ones, little kids, and big kids. So every night we read this, and then I ask this question and Maya gives me the answer, and it's a little bit bedtime maths before bed. And it will last a while because we'll go through the book, and then when we read them again, we'll ask the next question and then the next question. So I thought it was nice to share. Even though I'm not talking about maths today, this is one of the books we read at bedtime. So I was going to say, another book that we have for bedtime is the Buddha at Bedtime Treasury, which are just beautiful stories and words, affirmations for bedtime. Then we also have this one, a bedtime meditation story called Good Night Love, and Maya likes to say it to me as well. So at the end of the story, it says, may you be healthy, may you be safe and protected, may you be happy and peaceful. And then she says it to me, and then we go to bed. But this story is by Sumi Loudon Kim, I hope I'm saying that right, and they have a whole mindfulness curriculum that I bought. It comes with 3 books, and it's called Sitting Together. We haven't done it yet. I've had a look at it, and I'm really excited to start it. So this is the adult guide. This is basically a study guide for the adult or the parent to go through. You do your own lessons, your own meditation, at least a week or at least a few days rather before you bring the lesson to the family and the children. So you're ready to teach mindfulness because you know what you've done. So then we have the children's or the group family, the children/family lessons. So each one gives you a story to read, activities, songs, and then, can you see that clearly? You can't answer me, so I don't know. Let's see if there's a picture, just to give it something easier to look at. So for example, Unit 3 is on ethics, which sounds a bit major, but it's really like, what is being kind and what is the right thing to do and healthy choices and things like that. The third book is the Sitting Together activity book, so this will be for Maya to do. So there's an activity page for each of the lessons, or maybe more than one for each. It's colouring pages, crosswords, word searches, more colouring pages, some joining up, some mazes, which you'll love, and some cutting and creating as well. So it's a whole curriculum around learning how to be mindful, and intentional, and then activities that help you understand that. So that will be lovely, and that will be with Maya, with my little one, but also with my older 2 as well, nearly 15, and 19 will join in as well when they want to. So that's Sitting Together, which we're very excited about. Okay, let's go on to Spanish. At the moment, Maya has been listening to 1/3 stories books. We got the free sample, which was a PDF and an audio book. So I just printed this out and stuck the pages together to make the book. This one's called A Duck's Journey. Maya has learned from listening at breakfast time or lunchtime. While she's eating, we have the audio on. And she has learnt vehicle names. She knows how to say "have a good journey" in Spanish. She knows what's going south is. Yeah, mainly those things from this book. This is quite a more complicated one than the next one I'm going to show you, but this was the free one. And the audiobook is lovely. And it's read by a native speaker, apparently, which, yes, her accent is great. Then we bought one. So this is how the books really come. This one is called How the Dinosaur Got His Shoes. It's a really fun story. It teaches colours, numbers, and greetings. And yes, no, thank you. Maya has learnt all of those now. Almost, numbers, yes, no, thank you, and goodbye and hello. And some colours, but you know, colours are harder to learn, but she's getting there. But she loves the story. We listened to the audiobook. The audiobook that you get with the paid one, the quality for us hasn't been as good. The quality with the free one, it was a nice clear sound and audio, but the bought one is less, like it's a bit grainy, but it's still great. And then it comes with the flashcards of colours and the greetings, the words, but not the numbers. And this little bag, and then an activity book, which I would say I'm not the biggest fan of. It's a bit complicated. It's written in, like, the words that they need to be reading are written in capital letters, and it's a bit like really colourful and all over the place and not very clear to see. And we haven't really worked with stuff that looks so in your face. So Maya tried it the other day. She did really, really well, but she needed a lot of support because it was harder to see, if that makes sense. But we really love the stories, and it really works. Having the story in mainly English, and then a few keywords, or the terms, the concepts that you're learning that are focused on in that story, in Spanish throughout, gradually getting more and more on each page, is a really fantastic and definitely a successful way of learning the language, because it's more embedded, so that the child is learning the words the way they would learn them with their native language. You're just spoken to, and you just hear them, and then you connect them to what makes sense, and it's the same type of learning. So it's a really nice way to do it. The price point, I would say, is okay. Better if you buy in bulk, if you buy more than one at a time. They do them in single, 6 months or 12 months. You'd get one a month for 6 or 12 months, and for 12 months the cost per pack would be lower. We're also looking at another program, a more typical type of curriculum, actual learning, and that is called, I'm sure you've heard of it, it's very popular, it's called Homeschool Languages, which is a great name for your company if you want to be the number one in homeschool learning of languages. So again, I just downloaded the free sample, which was 4 free lessons, and it came with, I've just put it all in a folder, so it came with this practice sheet that I laminated and stuck in here, these words that you'll apparently be looking at through the curriculum, the 4 lessons are here, and then 2 little readers that I printed out and put in here. So this is Homeschool Languages, obviously Spanish, because I love the language. Gives you detail about the course, what to expect, what to do, and then the first, and videos, resources that you can use as well. It gives you how, as the guide or the parent, how you pronounce the words, how you stress or emphasize syllables, because it is made for people who can speak other languages, or for families and parents who don't know the other language either, so you could be learning together. I know like basic Spanish, and I know how to pronounce, I can read in Spanish, but this is amazing for if you have no clue, you've got it all here for you to understand. It tells you how to use the lesson, very similar to The Good and the Beautiful setup, in that it's an open and go book, which means you open it and you read what's on the page, and you're learning. The text is color coded, so one color is for you to read to yourself, and then the other color is for you, what you're going to say out loud to the child. The physical copy and the paid for version comes with games, physical games and cards and so many exciting things, and they do deliver to the UK now. I emailed the other day and they said they do, and if you stress to them to put educational material on the package, the parcel, it should hopefully go through customs without extra charges. Okay, so that's the free version. It comes with the physical copy comes with also a puppet that you would use to encourage the child to stay speaking in Spanish during the lesson, Obviously we don't have that, so I just got a puppet company one the other day when we were out. Maya chose un perro and we have named her Sofia. So this puppy will be our Spanish speaking friend who can only speak Spanish, won't understand you in English, so encourages the child to keep talking in Spanish, to use what they know, and then have fun with them. So that's our little Sophia. I am going to be ordering the physical version from America very, very soon, so I'll be able to show you that when it comes. So that's our Spanish. I'm excited about that because Maya's doing really well so far, learning from what I know, and me teaching her, just talking to her every day, just weaving it into our everyday, but also with the stories, it's going great. So I think she's definitely ready to take on a language, at least at a basic level. Okay, two more two more curriculums in the pipeline. We have this, oh no, there's another one actually. 3 more. Okay, so this is a folder, you can't see anything. This is art history from Blossom and Root. Art history and me. So it's the history of Maya basically. So Blossom and Root is fantastic. It's a secular company run by seemingly lovely people, and they offer language arts, maths, nature studies and book seeds, which we also have. But I found the art history in me really exciting because it doesn't just have, you know, the typical classical white artists and composers and so on, and old Eurocentric ones. It includes a nicer range of historical figures than you'd usually find in curriculum, homeschool or otherwise. It gives you a book list of things that can support the curriculum, some of which we already have. This is a huge book list, that is 2 pages worth and 3 pages. It goes up to week 36, so that's what? Help me. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 40. Oh, okay, so 9 months. So, oh my god, yeah. So yes, 9 months worth of learning. So it is art history and me. So you're learning art history, but you're also learning the history of me. So here's where it says Blossom and Root. They had 2 versions. This is the newer version. I preferred this one. I'm glad they changed it because there were some layout things and some content that I was not so keen on. So this one looks nicer. So there's the history of me. I was born. Here's a story about me when I was little. These are some things I love. Things I love to do, my favourite things. It goes on and on. And I just thought this was a really nice one because I've said in another video, Maya's a very nostalgic soul, and she likes to recall memories and look back on photos and videos. So I think she'll really enjoy doing the history of me alongside art history. So we're doing some art in here, like drawing herself and drawing things she does, but then also looking at other people. So there are profiles on other people I'm interested in, and then it goes on to composer studies and artist study. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this one. It's jam-packed, so we're going to start there after Easter, I think, and yeah, I'm just excited for her to get another keepsake. Okay, so there's art history and composer studies. Art, as in music and visual art. So now we're going to go on to the music as art. Maya plays a little bit on the piano. She has loads of percussion instruments that she likes to play with in her play area, and she also has violin lessons with a lovely Spanish teacher called Pablo, where he will speak some Spanish to her as well, which is lovely. So yes, she is doing some violin. So we have some of we have some instrument music, which is why I thought it would be nice to introduce. Let me get the page. Whoops. Woven Melodies. So I got Woven Melodies. I think it's all PDF, so it's only, you can't buy it physical. You can only print it, but that's fine. So this is the student workbook, and each lesson is a different artist and a different instrument. Well, really it's the instrument that's highlighted. So the first lesson is mandolin. So you'll learn about the instrument, where it's from, the people who play it, the history of it, and then they give they spotlight a musician who plays that instrument and give you lots of resources in terms of videos to watch and hear the music being played. And then, so that's in the teacher's guide or the parent's guide. And then for the child, we have activities like parts of the mandolin. So that on the first page they were named, and then I can fill them in, or I would cut the other page out, or she'd cut it out and stick them in. And then her thoughts on the mandolin, what she thought of the song, the artist. So I would either have her write it, or if she wasn't in the mood, I could just have her narrate or dictate to me, as we do in other activities. Goodness gracious. Over here is answering questions about what she just saw. So some more consolidation, which I love. And that's it, just 2 pages for her to do the work, and then it goes on to the next lesson. So I think that's a really lovely study. It's called a multicultural, let me see what it says. It doesn't say. A multicultural study, music study, year long. So there's a year's worth of lessons, similar to the Blossom and Root art history and me. Okay, finally, another Blossom and Root. I really, really adore that website. If you see all the tabs here, these are 5 different book seeds that we have from Blossom and Root, and the book seeds are like book studies, so they have so many different choices, seasonal and subject based, and we have not long finished the Wangari's Trees of Peace. It was from when we were doing, our theme was trees, which was in January and February, and we looked at Wangari's Trees of Peace, the book, which I really enjoyed, and then we did some STEM activities. This is more of a science program on that, related to that book. The next one we're going to do is on the Hungry Caterpillar, because it's spring and we love the book. So we'll read the book many, many times, and then we'll do different STEM activities with our Blossom and Root book seeds. So we kind of have done this one in terms of we've done book seeds before, but we haven't done the Hungry Caterpillar yet, so that's our next book seed. So those are all the curriculums in the pipeline. I hope you enjoy it. Tell me what you're doing with your little ones, and I'll see you in the next video.